Greetings and salutations, fellow skibbities and gooners. Welcome to our amazing Ristful research project, and enjoy.
Mimicry is the practice of learning and mimicking strategies found in nature to solve human problems. The term is derived from the Greek root bio, meaning life, and mimesis, meaning to imitate. Biomimicry involves observing and studying the natural world to understand how organisms solve problems, then mimicking these natural processes to create innovative solutions, typically for resolving engineering complications. For example, the structure of a bird's wing inspired the aerodynamic design of airplane wings. The beak of a kingfisher improved Japanese Shinkansen bullet train design, and Velcro mimicking the way the bird clings to the skin and animal fur.
And while the term biomimicry was only coined a few decades ago by scientific writer Janine Benyus, interestingly, it is not a new concept. For centuries, indigenous tribes around the world have used agricultural imitation to solve a plethora of dilemmas. Indigenous people closely observe their environment and learn from behaviors and characteristics of plants, animals, and ecosystems. Biomimicry involves the same process of studying nature to understand and replicate its strategies.
In Semanawak, there are several specific examples of technological biomimicry that showcase how these communities have drawn inspiration from nature. For example, the Aztecs living in the subtropical art of Semanawak needed to find a way to feed a growing population with limited productive land, chinampas. This technique resembles the natural process where organic matter accumulates and supports plants' growth by using layers of mud and decaying vegetation to build rich soil. The shallow beds ensured that the crops had constant access to water. Structural ingenuity also allowed for the chinampas to stay buoyant in the water. This mimicked the natural flotation and water availability seen in morasses or a quagmire. Thus, the Aztecs effectively created an agricultural system that solved their dilemma of providing food to their people and having the system mirror the sustainability of natural wetlands.
However, with the destruction of Tenochtitlan, the literal accumulation of Chinampas technology, the advent of colonization, and the subsequent industrial revolution, there was a shift to modern and extractive practices. The early modern period sparked a new era of urbanization and industrialization and a significant technological process. But it also led to the separation between humanity and nature. New methodology often prioritized profit over environmental sustainability, along with other things. This contributed not only to the decline of tradition-inspired practices, but also played a significant role in climate change.
Despite this, indigenous communities have preserved these practices for centuries. With the resurgence of biomimicry, there's a renewed interest in sustainable practices derived from nature. One such example is Tres Hermanas, which can be classified under the concept of Milipa culture, also known as regenerative agriculture, in which the word Milipa is a Naui word that essentially translates to maize field. This involves growing multiple crops together like natural ecosystems, revitalizing the health of the land and providing nutrients to soil. Methods like these have been utilized all throughout human history, and though the name for these techniques have been changed and rejuvenated throughout the years, the foundations have stayed the same. Because while biomimicry is often seen as a cutting-edge field, many of its principles are deeply rooted in ancient knowledge. In essence, indigenous techniques are the same thing as biomimicry, a cycle of Ouroboros, if you will. Different terms have been used to describe the same concepts and ideas. Biomimicry is basically a formalized approach to what indigenous people have been doing for centuries, and these autochthonous techniques are just more of a grounded version of what bioengineering aims to accomplish.